Hello everyone, in this video I will explain about how do children learn language. If you want more explanation, please keep for watching.
Language development is an amazing process. In fact, learning language is natural and innate process babies are born knowing how to do. Interestingly, all children, no matter which language their parents speak, learn language in the same way. Overall, there are three stages of language development which occur in a familiar pattern. So, when children are learning to speak, understand, and communicate, they follow an expected series of milestones as they begin to master their native tongue. However, note that individual children will progress at their own pace alone. This timeline within a expected range of deviation. For the first stage for language development is learning sounds. In this stage, babies learn which phonemes belong to the language they are learning and which don't. The ability to recognize and produce the sounds is called phonemic awareness, which is important for children learning to read. The best way to promote language development for babies is simply to talk to your child. Babies learn by experiencing and listening to the world around them. So, the more language they are exposed to, the better. Additionally, you can put words to their actions. Talk to them as you would in a conversation, pausing for them to respond. Then you can say back what you think they might say. However, not that simply talking to them attentively is enough for them to pick up language. Most children follow a familiar pattern. First, birth. When babies are born, they can already respond to the rhythm of language. They can recognize stress, pace, and the rise and fall of pitch. And for months, as early as 4 months, infants can distinguish between language sounds and other noise. For instance, they know the difference between a spoken word and a clap. And the next 6 months, by 6 months, babies begin to babble and coo, and this is the first sign that the baby is learning a language. Babies are now capable of the word, but by the time they are a year old, they will have dropped the sounds that aren't part of the language they are learning. For the next stage is learning words. At this stage, children essentially learn how the sounds in a language go together to make meaning. For example, they learn that the sounds refer to the being who cuddles and feeds them, their mommy. This is a significant step because everything we say is really just a stream of sounds. To make sense of the sounds, a child must be able to recognize where one word ends and another one begins. These are called word boundaries. However, children are not learning words exactly. They are actually learning morphemes, which are the smallest discrete chunks. Words can be broken into a morpheme, maybe a word on its own, or maybe combined with other morphemes to form a word. So in mommy, there are two morphemes, ma and me. In this stage, basically, that starts from 8 months. Babies can now recognize groups of sounds and can distinguish words boundaries. And the next 12 months. At this point, children are able to attach meanings to words. Once they can do that, they can begin to build a vocabulary. They also begin to mimic new words they hear. And for the next 18 months, in order to communicate, children must know how to use the words they are learning. In this stage of language development, children are able to recognize the difference between nouns and verbs. And the last stage is learning sentences. During this stage, children learn how to create sentences. That means they can put words in the correct order. For example, they learn that in English we say, I want a cookie, and I want a chocolate cookie, not want I a cookie or I want cookie chocolate. Children also learn the difference between grammatical correctness and meaning. Children will know that although the sentences is grammatically correct, it doesn't make sense. They know that green is a color and so it can be colorless and the idea don't slip. However, they also know that the noun and verb structure of the sentences works. In this stage, basically start from 24th month. At this stage, children begin to recognize more than nouns and verbs and gain an understanding of basic sentence structures. Next, 30 until 36 month. By this age, about 90% of that children say is grammatically correct. The mistake they make are usually things like adding at to irregular verbs to form the past tense, and the last is beyond 3 years. As they grow, children continue to expand their vocabulary and develop more complex language.
That's all for the explanation about how do children learn language. Thank you for watching.